Hey, Crystal at the Horny Toad restaurant in Cave Creek, Arizona. And we've got a hedgehog cactus here in bloom. I could have sworn that these were yellow one year, and they could have been. I have heard that some of these cacti bloom different colors.
Hi.
Hi.
Take care of the cacti?
Yeah.
Nice.
Got them in bloom. So I'm gonna be cleaning up in this planter. I mean, it looks pretty good, but we've got some expired blooms that need to get cut down. And I'll probably clean up this Candelilla, aka Anti-Syphilitica. And I gotta try to pull out some of these weeds. So if you're dealing with cactus and you have little weeds, there's some more down in there. I have tried plenty of times to reach in and grab them with my gloves on, and no, that does not work. So I have my special tongs, and look at that. Dun, 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 dun. No pain. No free acupuncture today. So let's see how I can make it work over here. Yep. So that's how I do things when I'm dealing with cactus. I'm working with my left hand, which isn't the most adept. Let's see if I can get this one. And this probably isn't the best. That one I could probably actually reach in and pull it out, but we got another one over there, so I'm gonna be working on that first. So let's see what we can make happen in this bed. Over here, I'm probably gonna thin out this Candelilla. I'm not real crazy about this wonky growth on that side. And I'm gonna be fertilizing this guy. This is I'm looking for some stuff that grows in the shade, so I managed to get a hold of this Lamium, the White Nancy variety, and hopefully next year I'll be able to get some in earlier in the season and make sure it gets enough water and all that. But this is a super shady spot, and in fact this aloe is blooming later than the ones in the sun, and it looks like it's a relatively thin bloom, but you know, they still bloom in the shade, but you get later blooms, it's looking like. And this is a different variety of aloe than this one, and this one has red blooms, and this one should have these really pretty orange, sort of ombre orange sunset blooms is what I like to call them. So I was hoping this would fill in a little more, but it didn't get any fertilizer or probably not enough water either. So next year though, I will definitely be using it because it did survive. And over here in these pots, these did really well, those Dusty Millers. I definitely want to try to get more of those next year because we just need a little more foliage that contrasts all the green and does well in the shade, and I really like those. Mixed in with succulents, Dusty Miller succulents works good, and they grow in the shade. I don't think they would be, if they got slightly more sun here, they probably wouldn't be as exfoliated, but I don't mind the way that looks. And they get a little sun right here, and you can see the Christmas cactus is suffering right here, and they need a little fertilizer, but they had nice blooms on them around Christmas time. I bought them, when I bought them they had blooms on them. And I was just looking for something to add to the pots that would work and hopefully not die. So this, I was over here earlier, I forgot to talk about this. You know, this has really opened up a lot since I planted it. And this used to be sort of not really all filled in perfectly, but there was a conglomeration of these lace aloes just growing here and being ignored. And they were living perfectly happy for quite a while. And then at some point when I was gone, they all took a nosedive. But I'm real happy with how this crassula did. It's not like it put on a bunch of growth over the winter, but it survived and melded a little bit. When I first put it in, it just sort of looked floppy. And then I'm hoping someday this thing is gonna grow another arm. Look at this saguaro. We used to have another saguaro in here, a really big one, bigger than that, with arms on it, and it fell over one day. So it's gone, and we put this in. And I happen to have this cactus in another container and stuck that right there in the middle, and it kind of looks sad to me still, but I think once these growths start coming in, it'll have a more interesting form. But yeah, this thing's holding up. Most of this survived last summer. These snow aloes are already not happy. I've got more snow aloe over here. Those aloes, the specialty aloes, just, I have yet to find one that really says, look at me, look at how cool I am, when you plant them in a planter. And especially for a client, when you're not tending to it frequently. And then we got these monkey tail hybrids. I can't remember what they were called, but looks like we got either a side shoot growth coming out here or a bloom. And by the color of it, it looks like it might be a bloom. So these are new. It's an Altman hybrid, and it was like 50% off or something because one of the columns was broken, and everything was like uprooted, and it was just kind of laying in a pot. So I got it at half price. I'm like, yes, I will take that because I love monkey tail, and it'll be interesting to see what this does. And I didn't really have a good place to put it, and so this was it. I got one in the ground and one in here. We'll see what they do. Until further notice, that's where they're gonna stay. This thing's gonna be coming out next year. We might be putting a fountain in, although I'm a little reticent to do that. This year I got these purple lantanas in, and I have not been fertilizing them, and I think they would do better if I were to fertilize them. I'm going to be doing that today. Oh, and this lace aloe is pretty much dead, but it still has a nice form, so I leave it in there. And then over here, this turned out really great. Now this is donkey tail, and I love the donkey tail. I've always loved donkey tail. And when I was buying new plants at the beginning of the year, they had 3 of those at Home Depot, or Lowe's actually is where I bought most of my stuff. That's like the closest nursery to us. And I'm like, that would look really good at the base of this. And I wish I'd have bought that 3rd one, but it is kind of nice to have an empty spot back here to water. And I've only watered this like maybe twice. Apparently those you do not want to overwater. And then down here, I had purchased this little crown of thorns up at my place at the Home Depot up in Flagstaff. And it kind of took a nosedive after our first freeze. And I'm like, well, it looks like it's, and then I took it inside and watered it, and I was like, it looks like it's still alive. And I planted it in this pot, and it had no leaves, but there was, I don't know, it looked like there was one little leaf that might be coming out. And, you know, it took a month and a half or so, and then I was gone for a little while, and it just took off, and we got blooms. I mean, okay, I love this thing. So I am definitely going to be getting some more of these, and they do good in the shade. And this is another one of those shady spots. And this is Society garlic, which every time I come, I definitely pick off. They tend to get a lot of dead undergrowth, and so I pick those off. And then this was from that cactus up there. There was a third, this one was sticking off the side, and when I moved it, it just kind of fell off. And so I stuck it in here. And so I don't know if this is gonna survive over the summer, this Society garlic. It may. This will probably survive in the shade, and I'm suspecting all of these will survive, but if anything's gonna die over the summer, it might be this here in Phoenix. I have planted those for clients before, but I don't recall how they did over the summer. I think I lost the ones that I had planted because they were very small, and I planted them late in the season. So I can't say that I really had a lot of experience with them, but I do like them, and I like the silveriness, and just it's just a different texture, although it kind of competes with the texture of this, you know, sort of like the grassy look, but it's a different texture, so we'll take it. So I'll probably, just considering how well these did over the winter this year, I will definitely be getting more of these. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with this donkey's tail, because I'm afraid it won't work, won't survive, but I'm gonna let it ride. And if it passes away over the summer, hopefully I can buy some new ones in the fall, and then I will know to try to oversummer them at my place. But I have had a hard time with these when I lived in California, and I think what I was doing was overwatering them, but I had been given some that were kind of all old and raggedy, and I was trying to revive them, and they never quite went anywhere, and I think it was because I was giving them too much water. But hopefully, I just love the way that looks, so hopefully I can get more if those go bad over the summer. All right, so that's just a little taste of what's going on here at the Horny Toad restaurant. I think that's an original sign, that little heart thing right there, from the 70s when this place was opened. All right, have a great day.